This is Greg Troutwine with Marine Technology Reporter TV. We're very pleased to be joined today by Graham HAWX of HAWX Open Ocean. But you recently started HAWX Open Ocean LLC. Can you please discuss the thought and rationale behind the formation of this organization?
Yeah, okay. Well, the thought behind it has been a few years building because I lost my old company, which I think you probably remember was called HAWX Ocean Engineering. I lost it to China. And to be honest, I spent a couple of years just wondering what the heck I'd done wrong. And then with COVID, I've had extra time, particularly with Julie, to figure out what we do right. And so that's the rationale. Was we developed some really good technology in the past, the last 20 years, culminating with underwater flight. And my mistake was I thought that was it. I thought there's an engineer, I've done it. Somebody else take this thing and go fly underwater, but nobody ever did. So it ended up a bit of a so what? And so that's where we come with a fresh start, HAWX Open Ocean. Let's try and figure out what we did wrong and get it right next time. And it's not about making money, it's about making a difference. I can tell you one of the things I've learned is if you focus on what barriers there are to where you want to go, and where we want to go is with the public. The public need to get underwater. And the barrier I thought was cost. We knocked it down a bit. But all you do is you let the public through to the next barrier. So if you're really going to do that, you've got to get rid of all of the barriers. And that's been the problem. And hopefully we'll get it right with HAWX Open Ocean. Fresh start.
Okay, well, I think you kind of covered it a bit in that, but you're a long tenured leader in the ocean exploration community. And to many, the ocean is still a mystery. In your estimation, why is that so?
Well, I think it's kind of easy, really. In space, we can look down, we can see, we can look through the stars. In the ocean, you don't see. And also, to be honest, the technology, it just isn't available to anybody. It's too expensive, it's too difficult. It's just too early stages yet. So in the ocean, you see it one pixel at a time. And that pixel, to see that, is just too expensive. So we've really got to make it so easy for the general public to say, hey, what's down there? And go and look.
Okay. So what specifically is your new company doing to change this?
What specifically we're trying to do is to really break through. I can give you an analogy. Do you remember the days of computing when it was all about mainframes? That's all it was. I remember reading, the headline is, who has the biggest building? Because the mainframes were so big, they were in their own buildings. And it was MIT or the Pentagon or somebody massive. And then came Steve Jobs and the silly home computer. That's what actually changed everything. So now computing is not about mainframes, it's about what you've got in your pocket. We need to do that for the oceans.
Using the start of your career to today as bookends, how have you seen the business and the science of ocean exploration change the most for both the good and the bad?
Okay, well, for the good, it used to be that the leaders in ocean exploration were the military, who can dive deepest and who can blow each other up more than the other person. Then it moved towards commercial. And for the good, it's now moved to the private individual. You're beginning to see private individuals go deep in the ocean. That's the good part. The bad part is I think scientists have given up. I find them incredibly frustrating. They've given up on exploring, so they don't ask, what is it we don't know? What's down there we don't know? Instead, they only want to go and measure what they already know. That, I think, is bad. I think it's bad. We've got to get back to real exploration, which is finding out what the heck it was we don't know.
But what technologies do you count as the most influential in advancing the study and the understanding of the world's oceans?
I think that is the transition from being manned, which is my first love, going myself, sending other people down, to remotely doing it unmanned. I think that's is that change will make the biggest difference.
Okay. I'm sure you've had many mentors, many co-collaborators over your career. If you could boil down the one or two best pieces of advice that you've received during your career, what would that be?
Good friend of mine at the time, Phil Newton. I'm sure you know that name.
Yeah.
Phil said, I think he was talking about himself, but I've always remembered it. He said they can copy where you've been, but they don't know where you're going. I think that's great. So, as people copy what we're doing, so what? They don't know where we're going. It's where we're going that matters.
What advice do you offer to a younger generation that is considering making a life and a career studying the world's oceans?
Well, again, it's the same advice as they've just got to think for themselves and not believe what they're told. So, we're doing the SeaRocket, which is behind me here, which is things they're used to. It involves a GoPro camera. So just send that camera, instead of putting it on your head so everybody sees where you've been, how brave you are,
Yeah.
send it where you don't want to go, where you can't go. Send
Yeah.
that camera down. Why not? And so, that's part of it. The other part is, for goodness sake, think for yourself. I can give you two numbers. The size of this planet that's covered by water and the percentage of that which is unexplored. Just multiply those two together. Do it yourselves. You'll find the answers. About 2/3 of this planet is unexplored. So your teachers, your parents, the old guys like me, not me, but other people would tell you it's explored, it's downtrodden, we've got to go to Mars or somewhere else. Rubbish. We don't know our own planet. That's their job.
So, Graham, what exactly is the SeaRocket?
Well, I said we want to make a difference, manned and unmanned. And I did say that it's got to be so easy because we can only see one pixel at a time. So it's got to be something that anyone can use from anything. So go back to the barrier thing. I see insurmountable barriers with both manned subs and ROVs. The one thing that I think can access the future is a lander, which is SeaRocket, which is behind me there. The key is man portable. So it weighs less than 20 pounds. You can hold it off a canoe and just drop it. It goes down. It's untethered, which is the problem with other systems. So the skipper isn't worried about getting in his prop. And if you're on a kayak, you haven't got a skipper anyway. What the heck? Just drop it. And when it comes back, you look at your GoPro, which went down and came back. It bounced down and back. And that GoPro has all the secrets of what's down there. And I got to tell you, it's so much fun working with kids. So one of the things we're trying to do now is work from the bottom up, not the top down. Remember, I've taken kings down in my subs, and now we're taking kids. And the kids are just as valuable as any king.